The person that you date is either going to shrink you or expand you. And unfortunately, there is no middle ground.
One day we're going to have a real conversation as to why y'all constantly choose men that are beneath y'all.
Because when you're ambitious, ambition is a core part of your personality. And when you lose this, you genuinely lose a part of yourself. The thing about the girlies, when that happens, is that they blame the job, they blame burnout, they blame everything else except for the person who made you feel like comfortable is the standard that you need to settle for.
You will hate your boyfriend if you are more ambitious than him. A high ambition woman and a low ambition man is doomed to a relationship of him sitting on the couch playing Xbox, fingering an old pizza box while you text your 12-person group message saying how much you can't stand him.
I've seen the gorgeous girl shining brightly like a diamond pair up with somebody where you're just like,
what is that?
This Rihanna conversation is so interesting for me because a lot of people are like, her aura is gone ever since she's been with Rocky. But in my opinion, I just think that she's a girlie who hasn't been practicing her vocals and her stage presence for a while. And she's been locked in the CEO motherly role. And that is why she was a little rusty. I think if you do not have $1 billion, it's risky to go for the ASAP Rockies of the world. I think it's better to go for people who are more ambitious than you.
In heterosexual marriages where women out-earn their husbands, couples report being less satisfied with their marriage and are more likely to divorce.
The easy ones is if you can spot them during a date and you can sense that, no, this conversation that we're having, it has a ceiling, and where I see myself is beyond the ceiling. That's very easy. The hard one is when you are getting to know somebody. It feels good. It feels safe until safe becomes your ceiling. Until that ceiling is so low that you start to forget that you were trying to fly.
The women who aren't afraid to make hard decisions always win. There is a direct correlation between how successful you will be and your ability to make hard decisions and stick to them.
The person that you date not only affects how you feel, they are physically changing your brain. There's a literal switch inside you. Let's call it the ambition switch. Some people are born with that thing on. Some people need circumstances in their life to switch it on. But anyway, it's there. And your environment or the people that are around you can switch that thing on or off.
There's a few reasons behind the rise of the mommy girlfriend. One is that women are simply graduating from college at higher rates, and they are getting jobs in growing fields like healthcare, teaching, and therapy that just attract women more than they do men. Meanwhile, jobs in male-dominated fields like finance, tech, or blue-collar work just aren't as in demand. But the bigger issue is that the women I spoke with feel like their boyfriends just lack ambition. These girls are out there hustling. They are working multiple jobs to pay rent in their studio apartments, and their boyfriends are doing none of that. They are living at home. They're scrolling their Instagram reels. They're working part-time jobs as baristas despite the fact that they have elite university degrees.
I need you to think about the most driven person that you know who's in a relationship, and I need you to think about their partner. I'm willing to bet that the partner that they're with is not average. I mean, look at Ciara and Russell Wilson, Beyonce and Jay-Z. Baby, if you have a partner where people are very ambitious, magic starts to happen. Your brain is quietly copying the people that are around you, especially when feelings are involved. Yeah, you can pick up on some habits. Yeah, you can agree on some opinions, but the thing that you copy the most is their level of ambition.
Ambition is the determining factor if a relationship will last. Not finances, not religion, not life outlook, not fun personality, ambition. And a wrongly matched ambition gap will kill your relationship before it can even sprout legs and walk.
The thing that you copy the most is their relationship to ambition. Your brain is designed to read the person that is next to you and sync itself to that person. Because remember, babe, we are social creatures. Remember that? Yeah. And if the person who's closest to you has quietly made peace with living an average life and not striving for anything more, your brain is going to be downloading that every single day.
Well, it's one thing to support your boyfriend who's genuinely trying very hard to get a job in tech. It's another to fund the life of what feels like your overgrown teenage son who's just loafing around because he knows ultimately he'll be fine.
Think about the last time you shared your biggest dream with your partner. I'm not talking about the safe version. I'm talking the unfiltered. You want to have 6 trucking businesses across the continent of Africa, or you want to see yourself in Paris, or you want to move to Amsterdam. That dream that scares you a little bit. When you share that kind of dream, your brain automatically scans the room to see who is receiving this well and who is not receiving this well. That's your brain saying, hey, is it safe here to be the fullest version of myself? And the signal that you get back is, nah, this is not the place to share that kind of thing. In this room, I can't bring the baddie. I can't bring the Oprah version of me. I can't bring the Beyonce version of me, because this room doesn't understand it. And the more times you enter a room like that, the smaller and smaller and smaller that version of yourself gets.
And one of the reasons I can never date a man who's not more ambitious than me is because imagine asking a man what he did all day and he said nothing much. Chilling. Meanwhile, I'm fighting a serious cold, and on top of that, severe cramp. But here I am, fully dressed, 3 meetings, and I made multiple 4 figures today in my business. And you were chilling? No.
What they don't tell you is that part of you that is responsible for ambition, big risks, for big dreaming, it's like a muscle, babe. And you know what they say about muscles, right? When you don't use it, you what? When you don't use it, you what? Exactly.
If you are an ambitious woman, you were probably growing up told that no man wants a woman who's too successful. I always get comments like that, and it pisses me off so much. Because first of all, why are you assuming that I would want that type of man? And second of all, why are you assuming that every single thing I do for my own success is made to please a man? The right man is someone who will love you so much that they'll want you to be self-sustaining just in case something happens to them. When you're constantly trying to focus on soothing someone else's insecurities, you will lose yourself in the process. Because it's not a crime to be ambitious as a woman. You can be both successful and supportive. You can be both feminine and strong. Those are not opposite terms. I will always say it's better as a woman to have that foundation for yourself. Even if you don't want to work in the future, have that foundation for yourself, because you cannot guarantee or rely on anyone else. Even if you marry the most perfect, wondrous man in the world, he could literally drop dead. I promise you, your ambition will let you meet the right people. It won't scare away the right person. Do the work for yourself. You have a future to build. That should always be the priority. Don't leave that to someone else to put into their hand.
When you spend years in a relationship, and dare I say environment, where that muscle doesn't have the space to be flexed, or it doesn't get the space to be activated. You know, have you ever walked in a field and you've seen a path? That path was made by people walking up and down that same road, right? And then as they're walking up and down, that path becomes created, right? That's what happens in your brain. As you dream big, as you are ambitious, as you affirm yourself, you're making a path in your brain. But once nobody walks on that path is going to slowly disappear. And your brain is just adapting to an environment.
Our biggest downfall as women is that we just want love, which is why I feel like when we're younger, we tolerate anything and everything because we just want it so bad that we're willing to deal with the bare minimum, with shitty behavior, with inconsiderate, selfish men, because we just want to be loved.
At the end of the day, settling is not only an emotional experience, it's also a biological experience where you are shrinking your brain by staying in environments that do not allow you to flex your muscle of ambition. And that is why I want you to think about a time where you were completely and unapologetically yourself. You were laughing as loud or as freely as you wanted, wearing your best thing, feeling the fullness and the fire that is in your soul, speaking freely without editing yourself. Who were you with when you were feeling like that? The answer to that tells you everything that you need to know about any relationship that you are in your life.
It is essential, actually, that you do the things that you really, really want to with your life. And I'm going to tell you why, but to do that, I have to talk a little bit about dead people. My grandmother passed on the 1st of July, and she was also born on the 1st of April. And if there's one thing about my grandmother, it is that she always put herself first. She lived her life, and she liked her life. And when she passed, she was passing with really minimal regret. When she looked back over the course of her life, she talked about all of the things that she'd experienced that she loved. She talked about all of the things that she was really proud of. And she was sad to go. She was sad to go because she wanted more time because she liked being alive. And she lived life to the fullest up to the very end. She started riding motorcycles with my parents when she was 85 years old. And she would have kept riding motorcycles until the day that she died if she didn't hit a point where she physically wasn't able to.
And the sinister thing about this whole chat is that when your ambition starts to die, it does not happen in a very dramatic way. It happens in a very quiet way, almost silent killer. You know, like that fart, that silent fart. It's like that. If you are ambitious, you'll understand that how you speak about the world is not how everybody sees the world. You're a little bit more delusional. You live in a dream state where you believe that things can happen for you. And people who have settled for average, most of the time they see the world in a very, very realistic way. And in order to achieve anything meaningful, you gotta be a little delulu, my nunu.
Shout out to my fellow daydreamers. The girls who daydream are the girls who are gonna get everything that they want. I have been that girl since I was little, who was always sitting in the car, in the back seat, daydreaming, imagining, and truly, honestly manifesting the life I'm living right now and the life I'm going to live later.
One thing that I do know is that, babe, you are on this earth for a reason. Don't deprive us of your purpose because of a man. We need more women in C-suites. We need more women in the UN. We need more women just dominating all the sectors to make the world more women friendly. I hear think piece after think piece about how women are just dissatisfied about the state of the world. In the most realistic way, the state of the world can bend to our favor is if more ambitious women take up their seat.
The highest form of self-love is discipline, because you are literally training your brain that you can rely on yourself. You're training your brain that you could trust yourself, that you could deliver in a time of need, that no matter the circumstances, no matter the emotions, no matter the feelings, you will still accomplish what you need to accomplish for yourself.
Don't be the girlie who stays in a relationship where the person says that they love you and they're worried about you, but their worry is busy stifling and strangling your dreams. Worry is the fastest dream killer for most women's dreams. They're gonna say, oh, my baby, I'm worried that you're staying late. I'm worried that you are not sleeping. Have you ever seen an old woman without money? A woman in her 60s, 70s. If you've seen that, it would wake you up quick to put the pedal to the metal in your 20s and your 30s and make sure your ducks are in a row so that when you get to that stage in life, things are nice and soft.
You work hard in your 20s. You work smart in your 30s. You work how you want to in your 40s. You work when you want to in your 50s, and you work if you want in your 60s. That came really early, and that's the way that I'm planning my life.
Bet on yourself more than you bet on anybody else. If you've ever seen a poor elderly woman, it would sober you up to lock in quick, because if you don't, that could be you, baby. Don't be in a love that makes it feel dangerous to take intelligent risks to expand yourself and your identity. It's not worth it, because ambition needs you to have a certain appetite for risk and a certain urgency. If you stay in a love that slows you down, if you stay in a love that is okay with comfortable, be careful, because you're gonna want to stop growing so that you don't outgrow the person that you're with. And you're gonna be doing that because you want to be a good partner. And that, babe, I'm telling you, it's gonna cost you everything. It's not worth it. So my babe, please subscribe, like, and comment. The more you engage with my videos, the more people can see my videos, because I'm realizing that I believe that I give great content, but YouTube is limiting who sees my content because you guys are not engaging on my videos, so my videos don't spread to a greater audience. So please guys, it genuinely doesn't cost a thing. Please like, please say something. Even if you comment emojis, I'd really appreciate it. And please, if you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe. It would really mean a lot to me. I appreciate it. Making these videos takes up a lot of time, it takes up a lot of effort, it takes a lot of research sometimes, and I just want to keep giving you guys quality content, but I also need you guys to like meet me halfway. You see that same copy machine thing I was talking about earlier that is in your brain? The same happens when you're around somebody who's ambitious. When you meet somebody whose energy is just right, whose frequency is just right, whose mindset is just right, listen, you're going to be downloading that kind of goodness the more time you spend with them. I need you to think about the person whose company made you feel like you can achieve anything that you put your mind to. And they didn't do this because they were hyping you up. They were just being. They were just being themselves, talking about whatever, just living. But where they were at, their frequency, the way they saw the world, their energy, when you're around them, guess what happens? Your brain is starting to sync with them, and your brain is syncing upwards instead of downwards. In the company of these kinds of people, when you talk about your big dreams, instead of them taking a few steps back and talking nonsense, they lift you up. They expand that idea, they stretch that idea, they celebrate that idea, they feed that idea, because they know that this is my kind of territory. You're talking my language.
Exactly.
And usually that happens because they are also building something. If you tell them that, hey, you know what, I took this risk 1, 2, 3, 4, they can already picture the upside. Researchers have studied highly ambitious couples, and they've seen that the individual by themselves, they operate at this level, but when they're coupled with somebody who's as ambitious as they are, or even more, especially if you're a woman, they operate at this level. High ambition couples consistently outperform their individual potential. Yeah, they may be helping each other, but that is not the core reason why this is happening. It is happening because mentally, energetically, vibically, just vibrationally, they are pulling each other upwards. Because in a setting like that, the biology that was working against you in that other setting, in this setting, it's working for you. The person that you're with is either expanding you or they're shrinking you, and there is no middle ground. If you want to kind of check, like, where am I at? Like, am I moving in the right direction? Here are a few things that you can do. 1, you can run an audit. What are you asking yourself in that audit? You're asking yourself, in the past 6 months, when I've been in the company of these people, did my ambition grow or did it become quieter? 2, did you take more risks? Or did you find more reasons not to? 3, did you start editing yourself before showing up? Those answers that you get for the audit, that is the data that you need. And then we move on to step number 2. You need to think about the moments where that switch got turned off, where you were having a nice conversation about what you want to do, and then how you spoke about your dreams started to get smaller. That time when you wanted to make a decision, but you chose the safer option. That brilliant version of you, right? When was the moment that you stopped bringing her to the table? You need to identify the scenarios where those things were happening and who was around you when you were doing that. And we're not doing this to blame people, okay? This is just to analyze. We're just analyzing an environment, right? Because the thing is, you cannot change what you cannot see. You cannot fix what you cannot name. So we need to identify these things. And the third thing that you need to do is to find the frequency. You need to identify, I mean, you can find these people on social media, but if you can find this person in person, that's even better. But you need to find somebody who is lit up. Okay, this is just you training your muscle to spot the people who are operating at a high frequency. Somebody who's moving, somebody who's hungry, somebody who's genuinely uncomfortable with being average. If your partner, if your friend can be somebody like that, and you can be around the vicinity of somebody like that, and you can also match that energy, right? Because a person like that is very sensitive to energy as well. So because you like that kind of energy, I hope you also giving that kind of energy. So when you're around that person, that is automatically going to switch on that ambition switch that is in your brain. You don't even have to do anything. You just need to be in the vibe. And that is how you use biology to help you instead of for it to work against you. After watching this video, I hope you understand that your brain changes according to who you're constantly around, especially if emotions are involved, especially if you're intimate with that person. And the question is not whether you love this person. The question is, who are you becoming when you're in this relationship? Are you bigger? Are you more alive? Are you more yourself? Are you more fired up? Or are you quieter? Are you more edited? Are you slowly putting off what you were building? Are you slowly putting off your dreams? Because now you're very comfortable. If you forget everything else in this video, but remember one thing, remember this: you don't date a person, you date a direction. Make sure that whatever that person is uploading into your system is worth downloading, because your brain is taking notes whether you like it or not. Stay beautiful, my queens, and I guess I'll see you next time.